Dear high school me, before you started college, you wrote your college application personal statement about questioning how to deal with never having had a boyfriend while simultaneously being a hopeless romantic. To that end, you concluded that the best way to deal with that unfortunate situation was to fall in love with life. Now, 4 years later, I first want to tell you that despite your best attempts, you still have not progressed in the boyfriend department. However, what I can say now is that for the most part, you were right. Romanticizing your life has led you to experience it in such an incredible way that you never imagined you could. You first began your mission to romanticize life by exploring the city you grew up in, Singapore. You spent your whole first year of adulthood doing anything and everything there was to do in the little red dot. From revisiting favorite childhood places, to seeing new parts of the island that you'd never thought to go to before. The more you fell in love with your home, the more open you became to being brave enough to do things you thought you could never do. By the time you left, you'd fallen in love with your home in a way you never thought you could. Although it took a lot of courage to try certain things back at home, it took a whole other level of bravery to move across the world to come to New York City by yourself. Figuring out your life alone in a city like this is one of the hardest things you've ever had to do. To cope with being so far from everything and everyone you'd ever known, you learn to not just fall in love with your environment, but the people you surrounded yourself with. From chill nights in, to checking out the iconic skyline. Since moving, you've fallen in love with your new life here in big part through the love and the connections you've made. Once you finally grew comfortable with both the life you created for yourself here and the life you left behind, you began to find things to fall in love with beyond the places you lived and the people you stayed around. In the past year, you started traveling to new cities and countries, experiencing newness wherever you could. From being a kid again, to freezing your ass off, to soaking up the sun, to listening to the crashing ocean waves, to experiencing nature, to seeing snow, to living in incredible houses, to walking amongst beautiful architecture, to getting drunk on amazing wine. In the past year, you've learned to fall in love with your world and everything and everyone it has to offer in such an incredible and fulfilling way. Although you getting to see, explore, and experience so much alongside so many amazing people has allowed you to fall in love with your life in a very special way, only now, 4 years after writing that personal statement, have you realized that romanticizing your life isn't exactly about that. While all that stuff is great, important even, it's all external. Falling in love with life at the end of the day is centered around finding joy, peace, and love within yourself. High school me, when you wrote your college personal statement, you did so as a sort of preparation or hope for the next phase of your life. As the you now nearing the end of your college phase of life, I want to tell you that I think we greatly exceeded any expectations you had. Now though, as we're getting ready to go into the next phase of your life, I want to tell you my new goal: to fall in love with myself, to be my own home, to be my own person. I want to love being myself the way I've learned to love everything and everyone around me. Sincerely, College Me.